Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 9th of October. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. Hey, Doug. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some more daily learn from it, transparent your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com, and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a look at ES. Now, ES, as expected, this little level top failed, went back, retested the high, no current negative divergence, leaning towards it going a bit higher, not because of ES and NQ, but because RTY and YM haven't retested the highs yet. Obviously, this is tech-led. NQ is the most, up the most. We've got a little, looks like a little bull flag here. We've got bullish stats today, of course. Historical stats were up about 61.8% today, historically. So at the moment, this is looking pretty promising to retest the highs. Go a bit higher. I would like to see, hey George, I would like to see this little level top fail on RTY and then a retest of the high there. And I would like to see, this looks like a little bullish consolidation triangle on YM. Both of these are looking fairly supportive for some bullish action today, and I'd like to see a retest of the high here too. DAX has retested the all-time high and is continuing higher at the moment. On ESTX, we've been in this kind of bull flag setup, which looks either is forming and we're looking for another leg down, or we're going to go and see a retest of the high very soon. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay. Now, ES, on the retest of the high, we got a possible RSI 5 sell signal brewing. We already had an possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing. And we've got exactly the same setup on the Qs, except that the RSI 5 sell signal here has already fixed. This is a promising start, but what I would like to see next is a retest of the high on Dia, which would set a, from here, would set another RSI 5 sell signal brewing. And we've already got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. And on IWM, I would like to see, hang on, I'd like to see a retest of the high here too, which again from here would set up a possible RSI 5 sell signal. I'm thinking we may be setting up for a decent retracement as the government stays closed. The last negotiation, I think, was right at the beginning of October. So far as I can tell, nobody's talked to anybody about anything. There have been no meaningful negotiations, and the Republicans have said this is our position, take it or leave it, and the Democrats have said the same. This could be a long shutdown. If it is, that would tend to be somewhat bearish the longer it continues, with a glaring exception with the last long shutdown under the Trump administration. We will see how that develops, but if we get to the stage which we could by tomorrow or Friday, where we've got 4 possible RSI 5 sell signals brewing, well, that would increase the chances considerably that we might start seeing those play out. Let's have a look at the hourly chart. Weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed, hasn't made target yet, nothing on the RSI 5. In terms of do we have space to the upside here? Yeah, we do. On the hourly chart, quite a lot of it actually. So we could go up 60 handles before we reach this resistance trend line. And I am thinking we may reach that resistance trend line within weeks. Looking at the Qs on the hourly chart, again, we've got the resistance trend line quite a long way above, and again, I'm thinking that may be a target. No current divergence. Looking at Dia, no current divergence. Again, the trend line I'm watching is significantly above, and we have already come back, and yeah, so I'm thinking, again, that could be a target. So I'm not saying that I think we're close to a big high here, but I am thinking that we could see a decent retracement soon. Looking at IWM on the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, but I would like to see this go back and directly retest the high, because that would give us the RSI 5 sell signal brewing there. Looking at the DAX daily chart, no current divergence, and overnight the futures have reached the retest this high here. This is an EOD chart, so on the given that the German market's been open for a few hours, this has made a new all-time high now, so this flag has made target. Okay, stalled a bit. The RSI 14 sell signal failed, haven't marked that in yet, but we have broken very convincingly over this resistance trend line that held on this move up. We'll see how that goes from here, but I'm thinking we could see significant more upside. Last 2 times we saw any kind of retracement here, not not sure I'd go so far as to call these particularly significant, certainly not the last one. But we've had RSI 5 sell signals. So to do that, we'd need to see some retracement here and then a retest. So I'm thinking we might get one there too. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX, which at the moment, well, we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. We've got a potential little level top here. We've got the same on the euro. It's an inverted. But I am thinking we're probably resolving higher. GBP USD, I've signed off this possible IHS that was forming, and I've taken that off the board because it no longer looks enough like a possible IHS. USD JPY, if the dollar is going up, this would tend to go up too. So far, it's been leading the way, and I think there's certainly significantly further we can go up. I'm quite liking, I'm not sure we can get as high as the retest at 1.15, but I am thinking we've got a decent shot at getting back to 104. Looking at ZB, still lost in space here, but really I'd love to see a retest of this high here. And ZN the same, and we've got a possible IHS forming, although it's not as nice as it was at the beginning of the week. All right, looking at CL. CL, we've got a possible IHS here. It hasn't finished forming or broken up. Alternative is I think we may have a bear flag here. HO, again, exactly the same, except we've now broken up overnight with a target in the 2.365 area. On RBOB, we've broken up with a target in the 1.968 area. But again, if we see a hard fail, these will all make okay, decent bear flags setting up a retest of these lows. Looking at NG, this is looking an awful lot like a bull flag forming. And that fits because, of course, we've got a double bottom which is broken up with a target in the 3.8 to 3.828 range. I'm liking this to the upside unless we see a breaking a version of the monthly pivot at 3.267. GC going back in for yet another retest of the high. Again, I wouldn't be short any of the precious metals at the moment. They're all looking a little scary, although we are getting to a point where we might have a shot here. This is on the RTH chart, we actually retested the all-time high yesterday. On the futures chart, we'll probably reach 49.51 today. We've got some indications that we might see a bit of retracement here, and actually, once we reach that target, my main target to the upside has been 49.51 on silver, and we did make that yesterday. We could see a retracement, but there's no real need, and this is kind of feels like jumping in front of a train. Well expressed on the palladium chart, where we had a nice bull flag, and it's just run and run ever since then. Possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. Platinum, we've got a 60-minute sell signal fix, but again, we are pressing higher. And I've got a pattern that's broken up on the bigger picture chart, which is suggesting we could go an awful lot higher. I think something like 2200. HG, I'm looking at this with great interest. We have a pretty nice looking rising wedge here. We reached support and broke it slightly. We got back to resistance and broken it slightly. And we're at the 50% retracement of this high to this low. I like this area for a reversal, but if we are going to break up with a target to retest this high, well, this would be the obvious time to do it because we're at the 50% level, and a break up from this flag would actually have a target at a retest of this high, pretty much. We will see how that develops. On KC, but I'm liking the reversal here. KC, still fighting over the weekly pivot and monthly pivot, no resolution. SB, we broke up from a double bottom, but I've been talking about this pretty decent looking alternate bear flag setup. That bear flag went back, reached support, and has now broken it. We could be on the way back to retest this low and rejecting from this double bottom. On CC, still trickling down, weak 6-minute buy signal fixed, full size one brewing. CT, we've got a pretty decent looking falling wedge here, and we're most of the way back to this resistance. 60-minute buy signals reached a possible near miss target. If we can break over this resistance here in the 65.4 area, then we could well see a test of the monthly pivot at 66.29. Lumber has broken down from a little level top with a target in the 582.8 to 586.1 area, and I'm liking that target area, and I think this might be the start of a larger resumption of the downtrend. ZW, still wondering about a possible retest of this low. Corn is trying to break up from what is a bull flag megaphone. So it could see a fail here, but normally I'd expect to see a retest of this high in the 431 area. On soy, we could be failing on the move up to this IHS target in the 1046.25 area, but actually I quite like the pattern. I like the overall setup. I'm thinking it has a pretty good chance of making target, or at least to this trend line here, currently in the 1044 area. On ZL, still might be a bear flag here. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. Live cattle, we're heading up towards what is likely triangle resistance. And if this is a triangle, I'd be looking for a reversal in that area, then maybe a back test of the monthly pivot at 235.89, and then a retest of this high, which is where the sequence should end. HE, we've broken down from a little level top with a target in the 84.25 to 85 area. Do we have positive divergence here? Yes. Sorry, I haven't marked it in, but this is a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing, and we've got a potential little level bottom, so we could see a reversal up into a retest of the high here. We shall see. All right, great. In that case, let's have a quick look at questions. All right, in that case, I think that's a wrap. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, and everyone take care.